All right. Today we're talking about death. How fun. We're going to talk about what it's not, what it is, and how it works. Very simple, very straightforward, nothing too complicated, just death. All right. So, what it's not annihilation. It's not the actual end. Okay. Law of conservation. Think about it this way, right? Energy can't be created or destroyed, only transformed. Death is a phase transition from one incarnation to the next. Okay. So just because the lights turn off in physical 3D reality doesn't mean that the lights are off actually. It just means that the channel or the vessel of that light ended. Just like if you destroy a radio doesn't mean that the signal goes out or the radio station gets destroyed. It's the signal that is processed or channeled through that apparatus, that aperture, that mode, that structure. That's what gets destroyed. And so the signal will no longer manifest in that particular area of manifestation. Okay, just like a radio signal, right? Somebody destroys your TV, you don't think that the people inside the TV are dead. You don't think that the TV station ended for everybody in the world. It's just for that TV in that particular room, in that house. Okay? You are God, universe, spirit, whatever you want to call it, in a particular mode or geometric constraint. The infinite conscious substrate is timeless with no beginning or end, right? So spirit, God, universe, consciousness is infinite in time, space, whatever it may be, okay? It exists outside of time and space because space and time are derivative of this three-dimensional space we're existing in. But it is not all that there is. There is something greater than just our physical reality. I know that might be shocking to some people, right? But if you clicked on this video, perhaps not. Hopefully not. Consciousness, awareness transcends the body. You are a spiritual being enjoying a temporary human experience. This is very key. Temporary. Think about how, just even from a scientific perspective, right? A materialist or physicalist perspective, the universe is 15 billion years old. Long, billions of years old. I don't want to put too close a number on it because it is contentious. Just our physical reality is beyond our comprehension how old and long it's been around, right? Let alone what transcends that, because our universe did come from somewhere, believe it or not. Something didn't come from nothing in strong emergence. So with all that said, the human experience is obscenely finite, obscenely transient and temporary. And that distance between you and source, you and God, there is a gradation. There is no clear junction or rupture or barrier that's ontologically fundamentally real, okay? Point being is that, again, you are temporarily enjoying this human experience on this crazy planet at this crazy time. This is just temporary, this is transient. A blip, a blop in the universal eye, God's eye, all of creation's eye. Death is you ending your temporary role as the character you are playing right now. Remember, this is just a temporary character. Your soul, your spirit, right? Your karmic pattern, your energy signature, whatever you want to call it, has played many characters before and will play many characters after. Whether they be human or alien or plants or animals or even matter at some point, that energy is being constantly transformed, even within one incarnation. Especially in this incarnation, because as human beings, we have free will, we have the ability to transform and spiritually excel faster in a short amount of time than at any other time in our spiritual evolution as beings in creation. So the point I'm essentially making is that this is a temporary character. Do not become overly identified with this character that you're playing. I'm playing a character. We're all acting in a way. We're all pretending that we're not part of the whole. We're all pretending that we're not God. We are all forgetting who we truly are for this experience, for this aspect of creation. The body brain does not generate or create the mind. It is the mind, the soul consciousness that constrains itself into the finite physical form. So nothing truly is ever created, right? Everything is already here. It's just being transformed into different modes. Like the clay is all there. It's just being molded into different things. Okay? And that is determined by your intention and the way that you act in life, which we'll get to in the reincarnation aspect. But death is not the end. Really what you need to understand, it is not the end of your awareness, the end of your story. The soul moves on, the awareness, your consciousness transcends three-dimensional space and time. So again, we know it's not what is death, as we were kind of already talked about in the last section, but we're going to go a little bit deeper to give you a little bit more color and understanding, a little bit more detail. So you have level 0, which is source, God, universe. It is the Atma, Brahman, the all. Again, if you want to call God, Allah, I do not care. It is the infinite. We cannot even fully comprehend. We can point to it. We can know it as finite apertures, as finite beings, entities within it, but to fully understand it is impossible until you are it. Okay? The level 0 of this sort, it's infinite, unconstrained. It's just pure consciousness, pure awareness. Then you have level 1, one step down. All right? This is the land of archetypes, astral realm, spirit realm. This is, has many different names. There's no right or wrong determination for this aspect of reality. But most people watching this video, you will either know it as the Akasha, the archetypal realm, the astral realm, or the spirit realm. This is where the soul lives. This is the transcendental realm, dream realm, psychedelics. This is the space where things start to blend together when you are on high doses of psychedelics, or when you're dreaming, you're accessing this realm. Or even if you have certain near-death experiences or out-of-body experiences, or you're astral projecting, like this is what you're accessing. You're accessing a higher level of reality. Everything is real with differentiating levels of realness. So you have the most real, because it's infinite, it's persistent, it is the foundation of all existence. Then you have less real relative to this. And then you have level 2, which is even less real. This is the world of your physical body, biology, physical patterns, physics, science. Like we are pattern matching and observing things in this space and time, three-dimensional space, but it is less real than level 1 because level 2 is a derivative. Level 1 is a derivative of level 0, okay? This is the realm of the senses, the material, the empirical. There is a smooth gradient from source to you, meaning that there is no clear-cut boundaries based on your perspective, because there's no hard lines in existence. Everything is one. We're all one. Monism. We're all part of the same thing, the same conscious substrate, substance, all right? And every boundary or cutoff we apply is just based off of our own perspective. It's not ontologically, fundamentally real. Just like how, the transition from one color to the next in the color spectrum, there's no true, like, this is where orange starts and this is where red starts. It depends on your perspective. So you have the causal body, which is your higher self. This is elucidated in, I believe, in the Vedanta, in Hinduism, which got a lot of things right, in my opinion. You have the causal body, higher self. You have the subtle body, which is your individual soul. Think of the higher self as kind of a community of souls, like-minded souls that are operating at a higher frequency. And you have your subtle body, the soul, which is usually depicted through your emotions. That's your emotional body. It's going to hold the memories across different incarnations, emotional patterns, and behavioral patterns across different incarnations. And then you have the gross body, 3D structure. So these memories from the soul will manifest as your genetic code, as your generational trauma, as your experience. It's kind of how karma comes into it, which I'm going to make a whole separate video on karma for the next video. So stick around if you want to continue understanding this process. The physical 3D body is a level 2 manifestation of the subtle body and of the causal body and of source. Death is the dissolution of level 2, biological body, back into nature, back into source. So what we call chaos, what we call entropy, is actually just reintegration back into source, back into nature, back into the whole. Okay? Ego ends, right? Our individualized I, our default mode network narrative that has been running our entire lives, that ends. The physical body ends. This ends, right? But the subtle body persists. The soul develops across incarnations because 3D space-time is not fundamental. Really that simple. 3D space-time is not that fundamental. And even physics proves this through the Wheeler-DeWitt equation, through special relativity, through quantum mechanics, quantum particle physics, and quantum mechanics, right? So science and math are already proving that this is not everything there is, okay? And if you just use logic, you can actually find the true ontological ground of reality. Just got to think, focus. So this leads us to reincarnation. So that's all well and good. We know what death is not. We know what it is. How does this work? What's the point, essentially? Okay. And the main point is spiritual, energetic evolution and progress. And also experiencing different things, trying different things out, seeing what different things are like. And you get to choose based off your intentions, based off your behavior. Your actions and your intentions determine what will happen to you in the future. This happens in this incarnation, and it happens across incarnations. So just like how the decisions you make when you're younger will affect what happens to you later in life, that doesn't end just because you die. That carries over. The debt is always there, whether it's good debt, karmic debt, or positive or negative or positive karmic debt. It can be good or bad. Depends on your intention and the actions you take in this incarnation and all incarnations. It's accumulation. Reincarnation is a logically forced reality. Consciousness, awareness, soul is not destroyed, right? So imagine you have a bunch of credit card debt, right? And you get amnesia and you forget your past life or whatever. The debt's still there. You still got to pay that debt off, right? Just because you have amnesia doesn't mean that your credit score isn't shit. Now, you might be getting taken care of in a home or whatever, you get the point. But what has been accrued, the debt will be there, whether you remember it or not, whether it's in this incarnation or the next, it will be paid off. There's always a balancing of the energies in a universal cosmic scale. The subtle body, soul, evolves across incarnations. So what persists? The soul. What is the soul? Give us a little bit more color, right? What is actually the soul? Think of it like the manifest intentional patterns, level 1, intentional patterns you've accumulated over multiple incarnations. This is the concept of karma. Okay? So kind of think about it like this, right? You are what you eat. The body is the physical pattern of behaviors in this incarnation. So if you work out, if you exercise, if you smoke, if you drink, if you don't do these things, if you drink water, if you eat healthy, these will affect your body and the way that it operates, right? And I know some of you are thinking, well, yes, of course, what I eat and what I do to my body matters, but also genetics matters. Well, what is genetics? Like I said before, it's the debt or the accumulation carryover from past lives, right? Epigenetics is this life. You are accruing new karmic debt, whether good or bad, intentionally, if you're intentionally acting. You are accruing more of this energy and momentum towards a particular direction. So if you eat healthy in this incarnation, then the next incarnation, you'll have healthier disposition inherently. And then it will just keep building and building and building on itself, right? And the opposite can occur as well. So we have to be mindful, got to think long-term. Thinking long-term is not just thinking long-term for this incarnation. It is thinking long-term across incarnations. That's true long-term thinking. Materialists and physicalists and modern academia will have us believe that this is the only lifetime, you only live once, YOLO. Absolutely not. That is short-term thinking. That is how you get trapped in a negative cycle of bad karma and materialism and nihilism and meaninglessness and blindness. Because if you don't understand that you're playing the long game across incarnations to become a higher being, to return back to source, if you don't understand this, then you can be taken advantage of. And you can do things like selling your soul in a particular incarnation just to get material wealth, material abundance that is not going to serve you across lifetimes. And if anything, is going to be to your detriment. There's no reason to be jealous or resentful towards the rich and the famous or the predatory, powerful elite. It all balances out in the end, okay? So back to what I was saying. You are what you eat. Your body is the physical pattern of behaviors in this incarnation. So you are what you intentionally do, right? Just like how, people say, oh, karma is punishment. No, karma is just the result, the consequence of your actions. So if you're eating junk food every day and you gain weight and your liver breaks down, or, you have to get insulin because you have diabetes, no one's saying, oh, well, that's in their mind thinking, oh, you deserve it. It's more so, yeah, you ate junk food. You are what you eat. And no one externally has to count your calories for you. No extra entity needs to check and make sure that they count all the bad, pesticides or processed garbage that you put in your body. Your body is essentially a, not meter, but tracker, a manifestation of the decisions you've made in this incarnation and past incarnations, right? So you are what you intentionally do. Soul is the spiritual pattern of intentional choices over X amount of lifetimes, depending on how evolved you are in this incarnation. It's not a good or bad thing. It's just, hey, the decisions you've made even before this incarnation is going to affect how you move through this incarnation, but you always have the choice in the present moment to redirect yourself if you do not like the trajectory that you are on. So you want, again, always think long-term. And when I mean long-term, I mean beyond just this incarnation because there was more characters to play. So this can seem overwhelming if you've never, really thought about this concept before, thought of reincarnation, really sat with it and really understood what it means and what it results in and how it explains certain things about, good things happening to bad people, bad things happening to good people, or just the way of the world. On a universal cosmic scale, everything balances out over time. So death is the end again, like I said before, death is the end of one character, so you can play another. Live well and die well. This is the most important aspect of this entire video. Remember, since it's a transition to the next journey on your way back to source, the choices you intentionally make in this life sets up the next. Living well helps you die well, and dying well is so important. The way you end this incarnation is the way you can essentially understand how you will start and begin the next incarnation with added nuance. It's not that simple, but dying well is so important. And that's why living well is so important, because you can enjoy your life, you can experience things, you can elevate and evolve, but then you also set yourself up to die well. So then the next incarnation starts off with you hitting the ground running and you have certain blessings. This is why certain people have blessings early on in life, right? This is why certain people come in with certain gifts and you're like, how would you be able to do math at age 7 or pick up the guitar at 6 and be a protege? Because of that past karmic momentum, because of the past choices that they've intentionally made in other lifetimes. So always think long-term and always understand that you have the power to redirect yourself towards a better future in this lifetime and the next, okay? And in the next video, we're gonna be talking about karma. So subscribe and stick around and we'll be seeing you in the next video.